And you're very welcome to D15 today here on 92.5 Phoenix FM, Blanchardstown's community radio station. And if you'd like to contact us, you can always text us, voicemail, or send us a picture on the WhatsApp at 083 401 0119. If you have a story you might want to share with us, info@phoenixfm.ie is the email you can send that to. And you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, all your other social medias that you know and love, or you don't, on 925 Phoenix FM as our handle.
It would be very fun to get a story. We've never gotten a story yet, or
no, we've gotten a good few. They just go straight to the studio. So that's why they'll come on as a guest or something like that. But we don't, like, they don't come in with the envelope and just hand it in. Like, we got some news for you, Mr. Bond.
That would be kind of cool, though.
It would be. But now, what's going to be very cool is our next guest here, Corrina Askin. She's an artist and she's coming on to talk about Draíocht's Family Day, the Dreamer Space. It's a drop-in family session. And do we have her on the line there? I don't think we do yet.
Alright.
No, we're all good. Yeah, we'll hopefully get her on the line soon. But before that, we can talk a bit about Draíocht. Love it to bits.
Oh, 100%. I went there for a good few different things. I got to do, like, graffiti art thing there, which was very cool. It's
like, I feel like it's one of the things we're not taking for granted. People kind of forget it's there.
Yeah.
And
like, I forget it's there often, but, like, I'm sure lots of things there, because I'm a very artsy person.
Yeah. And, like, there's so many, like, a lot of walk-in stuff and things like that, and just different things you can do. It's incredible to see. Oh, we have her on the line there. Corrina?
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Well, first of all, thanks for coming on, and we just want to ask you, firstly, just about this family day you have coming up.
Yes, with Draíocht. So, we have been working on a project called Dreamer Space for about 2 years now. And it is a trail around the centre, which, so it's a trail and a book around the centre that's a series of story moments that I'm hoping will engage children and encourage people to create their own character and their own end product from that. Because, and Draíocht is such an amazing facility that you have there in Blanchardstown.
Oh, 100%.
So, I'm an illustrator and an animator, and I have created shows for TV. I have illustrated books. I work in printmaking. But all of those things come from a very small idea, a notion or a doodle. And there within Draíocht, there you are within Draíocht, and that's what they do. They nurture these little seeds of ideas. So, yeah, so basically that's what the trail is. So it's a series of little moments that I'm hoping will motivate others to create their own creative work, whatever platform that may take.
And you said earlier it took a while to get this off the ground. How much planning is involved in something like this? Because it sounds like quite a big event, especially with the whole around the centre thing and the little stories they all have put together. How much work goes into planning something like this?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. So, how much work? So essentially, we started about 2 years ago. But, there were lots of gaps in between. But the lovely thing with working with Draíocht and with the lovely team there, and especially with Sarah Byrne, the Children and Youth Officer, is that we took our time. Mm. We took our time and, her and I would meet and we'd have a cup of coffee and I'd talk about a bit of a notion that I had or some of my characters, I carry these little characters around in my head, that's kind of how I see the world, as children do. I mean, all children have characters and create characters and little moments, and it's somebody noticing those things that is such a pivotal and important moment, and it really validates and gives self-esteem to children. So again, that's another thing that Draíocht is so good at. But sorry, to come back to your question, so we took a long time and we talked and we pondered and we came back to things, and I think that's such a lovely way to do it, because you layer up, you layer the project up rather than rushing to a deadline.
And creative projects like that are obviously very different than maybe something, I don't know, if you're making something like a house, where obviously you can set a timeline for that, you know, you have to put the foundations, the walls. Creative projects, like you said, you have to layer them, build them up and gather ideas.
That's what I always loved. I always get I get ideas I create characters because I love that. And I love getting ideas from random things. It could be a line in a song, or it could be I look outside and I see someone from that. And I really like the idea of sharing that to the younger generation again, to rebuild creativity, because I know that in recent years a lot of creativity has gone a little bit down because of social medias and things like that, and getting ideas from those kinds of things sometimes. And even for myself, I found I struggle sometimes with that. But I really love the idea of just being able to go on a walk or a trail and getting ideas from that and pure creativity.
Well, well, exactly. You know, things don't just happen overnight. You know, and that's another thing that we want to encourage. That you might have the beginning of an idea, and you know it might take a while, but you know to stay with it and to let it grow naturally, and maybe collaborate. But yeah, that's such you know, and all collaborations don't necessarily, you know, come out the same way. But this was a particularly good one. And I just felt like there was really good support there, and they kind of got it, you know, and they didn't, they were just happy to for it to take its time. And that, you know, that was a real privilege, because that's not always the way things work. But yeah, absolutely. And the other lovely thing about Draíocht is that we worked with the building. So in other words, you know, they made me a little nook for one of the characters. We turned the characters into soft toys. So these are all from, you know, a few little scribbles in my sketchbook that I showed them. And it, you know, grew from there. So, you know, we worked with the light in the building. So it feels like it's very custom made, and it feels like it belongs to that place.
That's amazing.
Well, you know, it's taken a while, but it is amazing. It really is amazing, and we are planning a whole series of events. So Saturday will be what we're calling our soft launch, and then we'll have a bigger event in March, and then hopefully throughout the year we will have a series of workshops that will again encourage people to create their own their own creative work, whatever that is. I mean, and Draíocht, you know, is for theatre, is for, you know, books, is for you know, I've seen people make beautiful rugs in there. I mean, there's all kinds of amazing things that go on there. So so it has to start somewhere.
And that's a very good point. It does have to start somewhere, and that's what I'd like to ask you about, where you're talking about how encouraging and inspiring this can be for people. Was there anyone when you were getting started off in terms of illustration and animation, who was it, or what was it that maybe inspired you or encouraged you?
Gosh, I think back a long time for that one. I grew up in a fairly chaotic house, I have to say, and I think that's how I got through it. That I kind of I made characters out of everything, and that's how I kind of saw the world, and in a way blocked out everything else that was going on in the house. And I think school was a big part, you know, my art teachers, and but one really pivotal moment, I have to say, came at the Centre Culturel Irlandais in Paris, which is where I met Emer McGowan, who's the director of Draíocht, and Emer saw the project. But I went there because, let's say, it was a very low point in my life when everything went wrong, and, you know, and basically I sat there with my sketchbook, and the director there, Nora Hickey-Mashilly, saw what I did. So basically doodles and little notions, and she said to me, you know, could you do that in a real place? Which I had absolutely no intention of, you know, ever taking it out of my sketchbook. Just, I was just sort of drawing inspiration from things around me. and that really sparked something. That really set me off. I mean, you know, that was like, it was like a validation when I really needed it. And then I showed the project to Emer, and she thought, "Oh, this is great. Let's do it." So, I mean, that's not necessarily from my childhood, but that was a really important point.
That sounds like a really big thing, and that I love that. That's really wholesome.
Well, it turned everything around for me at that point in my personal life. You know, it was all of a sudden I could see, gosh, you know, this is what life is really about. You know, people were there doing lots of interesting projects, researching Joan of Arc's diaries and all of this stuff that, you know, I had never really been exposed to before in a way like that. I mean, I had gone to art college, and but that was an important point, and important, yeah. And it came from essentially a really quiet place. You know, it came from a kind of place when I wasn't trying, I wasn't doing, you know, I was just sitting on a chair doodling.
It just goes to show how important the right environment is, though, for especially the arts.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing place there. You know, you don't know who you're going to meet, and the same with Draíocht. You know, they bring people in there. You don't know who is going to see your work. Or worked with a wonderful theatre director there, Veronica Coburn. So all these people are right in your neighbourhood, essentially, but they have a national and an international reach. So Draíocht have a residency at Santa Culturel, and Veronica works a lot with Draíocht, and also, you know, on the national stage too. So, yeah, I would really encourage people to use it, to go there, to see what to see what is available, and join in.
And lastly, just before we let you go, because we're running a little short on time, can you tell people how they can join in on the sessions, because they sound absolutely incredible? So I'm sure there's got to be some people joining in.
I'm making sure it's for all ages, because I mean, like, this is sounding definitely something I'm going to be going to.
Well, that would be great, and that would be my I would really love that, you know, because I do, and we do feel that it is for all ages. It's just that sometimes you just have to kind of, you know, give an age, but really it's for all of us, you know. But how people can join in, so, you know, just turn up tomorrow. We'll be there from 12 o'clock, and we've created a book to go with it. So the book will just guide you around the centre, and that really just come and experience it, and also, you know, see what's next for you as an artist, or for you as a creator of your own ideas.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was lovely having you here.
Oh, not at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.